Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Can I Have a Word, the podcast that explores language and how it shapes our identity and the people we become. I'm your host, Carl James. I'm really excited for today's episode. Today, we're going to talk about something that I've been thinking about and working through myself for a while. And, we have a guest to share in that conversation. So today, we're going to talk about what it means to live in a state of transition, especially when the world is asking you to be finished or polished or have fully arrived. In this conversation, we're going to talk about what it means to evolve in real time, to shed old versions of yourself, and to define success by alignment rather than just arrival. And so today's episode is quite special because not only are we talking about something that is very important, but we have a returning guest from season one. Call him a friend to the show, if you will. Ty McKinnie is a singer-songwriter, and he is back here to join us in conversation. And together we're going to talk about who are we when we stop striving to arrive and allowing ourselves to unfold. So whether you're an artist or someone who's in the midst of a transition, I think this episode is going to be one that you're really going to get something out of. So with that, I would like to welcome our good friend, Ty McKinney, back to the podcast. Hello, Ty.
Hello, Carl. Hey, everybody out there.
So what's funny is in your episode last season, you made this whole thing about, he's like, I want to come back. We should come back. Look at us,
And
keeping
look,
our word.
we're
Look at
back.
us,
We're
making it
back.
happen.
We're making it happen.
Season 2, we're doing it.
Season 2, what to do?
So how are you, Ty? How are things?
Things are good. Things have been busy since last time we
You've
spoke.
had a lot going
I've
on.
had a lot going on.
Last time you talked about an album. Now you have a whole album out that
The
you've
album's
been
out.
promoting and performing
Videos too, making those, and yeah, it's been a ride.
I love it. So we're going to delve into all of that, but you know what the deal is here.
Yes.
Before we get into all the things, we got to have a word. So Ty, can I have a word, please?
Yes, you can. The word is becoming.
Becoming.
Mhm.
So I want folks to think about what that could possibly mean. I mean, we generally we think about the process of coming to be something that's sort of very basic and easy. Some sort of transition, transformation, evolution over time.
Mm.
But Ty, I want to know from you, how do you think about becoming? Becoming for you, what does that mean?
Becoming for me is, when I think about that word, it's more so becoming the person that I've always wanted to be, like wholeheartedly, full-fledged, three-dimensional, not just like crossing one layer of things off the list. For me, so becoming, it's more of like, oh, I'm becoming the artist that I want to be. I'm becoming more of the human that I want to be, the friend, the family member, all those things.
All spheres of your
All
life.
spheres of my life are like coming together, and I'm like, oh, this is how I envisioned my life. Like when I was a teenager, I'm like, I'm living in New York City. Well, really Jersey City, but the New York City
One
area.
of the cities. One of the
'Cause I'm very
cities.
close. I'm very close to New York,
Right
actually.
right across.
Right across the Hudson. It's literally right there. Even Jersey natives say, like, you're not in Jersey, you're in New York. So, but actually living in an answered prayer. Many answered prayers, not just one. And yeah, so I just feel like I'm becoming this person that I've always dreamed of being when I was in high school and college. Like, I just want to be, an artist and live in New York and have my Sex in the City moments, dating and all that stuff. And
So it sounds like it's all happening.
it's happening
in process.
in
All right.
process. Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
When did you first become aware of yourself as being in process? Now, when you were here last time, I know, you were talking about certain things, particularly around your identity and sort of how you kind of were coming to be
Mhm.
the person that you were at that time.
Yeah.
And then obviously since then, other things have happened.
Mhm.
So talk about when you first became aware of this idea of sort of being in process.
Even the last time we spoke, I was in process then. I was in between of like, okay, this album's coming out, like, thinking about the marketing plans and videos and shows. Like I was literally like in process of like wrapping up final mixing sessions with my engineers and other guest musicians. Like, all right, give me the final take of what you think it's gonna make the album and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. So I was literally in process then of like with the album stuff.
Album is work.
It took the mastering engineer that I worked with. His name is Craig Levy. He told me, he's like, you've been making this album your entire life. Like you've been working so hard in your entire life to make this album.
Yeah.
Because I put out music previously before this project, but an album is a different
A
story.
full-fledged,
It's a full-fledged body of work. It's like a book.
Project. Yeah.
I've just put out like mini little inserts or whatever.
little chapter here.
Little chapter here, a little excerpt here, whatever. But an album is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So putting it together and then like actually putting it up to the distribution services to be put out into the world was like, oh God, like I cried and everything. It was a whole moment.
Emotions.
It was a whole lot
Yeah.
of emotional moments coming out because it was just good, bad, and different moments that happened to create, like being in process of
Right.
making that body of work, like working with people in the beginning process that didn't pan out that made it to the end, and songs that I wrote down like I loved but really didn't fit the album narrative. So I was constantly in process.
I mean, that's the artist journey, though. Like
It
you're exploring so many different things, and you're deciding what parts of yourself are sort of ready to share. What
Yeah.
parts are you still? That's not quite
That's
where it
not
needs
quite
to
ready.
be.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, you got to sort of work through all of that.
Yeah.
But you got it
I
there.
got it there.
Birthed an album.
I birthed an album. And I literally was telling my therapist, like putting the album out, having the album release party show, which coincided with my birthday.
Yes.
It felt like a nice completion of like my childhood dream of like wanting to be this pop star and all that stuff.
I remember wanted to be the Disney one.
I wanted to be a Disney Channel star. I had my plans. I was gonna be on that show. I was gonna be on the network. It was gonna happen. I had it all written down. I had it written down. But literally putting that out like kind of like closed the door for me internally. I was like, oh wow, like okay, I did that. It's done. So I don't feel like compelled to make another project. Like I will make one because I love making music, but the rush
In
that I
due
had
time.
in due time, I'm not pressed.
Yes.
I'm not pressed.
Like, can we savor and enjoy
We
this
can
moment?
savor and enjoy this moment. And
Absolutely.
I usually, when I put out music, I'm always thinking about like, oh, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And I've had friends tell me like, calm down, like savor the victory, like smell the roses. Like
Yes,
it took a lot. It
please.
takes a lot to just make one song and to put it out. So you put out a body of work, like really relish in that moment. And I'm actually taking that advice. And
Good,
just,
as
like,
you
sitting
should.
in it.
Yeah.
And it's been nice. It's been nice.
Amazing. So, like, who or what
Mhm.
shaped your early understanding of who you were supposed to become? Because I know you
Mm.
talked about you wanted to be the Disney pop star and all of these
Mhm.
things. Was that just little Ty in his bedroom, like singing little songs? Like, where did the inspiration come for that idea?
Many few. I would say many few. That's such a contradiction.
Many and few.
Many and few. Thank you. Come on, look. You see that? You see that? Many.
That's
and
what we
few.
pick it up. We pick it up.
We pick it up. Come on, Oprah. But I remember growing up, there was, a lot of black TV shows, like teen-centered TV shows. So you had like One-on-One with Kyla Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
We had That's a Raven, Raven Simone.
Yep.
The famous Jed Jackson, Willie Thompson Young, may he rest in peace. It's like there was shows where I felt like, okay, I could be on that show. Even like the black main character shows, like I can be on Even Stevens. I can be on All That, or what's another Nickelodeon show? Zoe 101.
Yeah,
Like,
so many.
there were so many like good live action or live sitcom shows.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can do this. I want to be that. But really the main person who was like the inspiration, I was like, oh, I can really do this, was Lindsay Lohan.
Let me find out.
Yeah, it was
Lindsay Lohan.
It was The Parent Trap. That
Okay.
was
Yep,
the
yep,
first
yep.
movie as a kid that I remember seeing that wasn't a cartoon. And I was just so into the story. I love the intro credits, because they were really long, but it was Nat King Cole's "Love," which is one of my favorite songs of all time,
Mm.
and because of that movie, because I would watch it so many times. But getting into the movie, and I was like, oh my god, those twins are so great. And then I think I was like a preteen. I was like 11 or 12 when I realized that she played both roles it wasn't just like she had another twin like, Tia and Tamara or Mary Kate and Ashley. I was
yeah,
like,
no,
oh,
it's
it was just her
doing all the things.
doing all the things. And I was like, I want to do that.
He's like, there it is.
There it is.
That's me.
That's me. I want to do what Lindsay Lohan did. And then of course she became like this Disney starlet with doing all these movies like Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, Freaky Friday, Herbie Fully Loaded.
I mean, you were really like into the content.
Oh, yeah. I was into the content. I was raised by television. Like
Yeah.
my parents raised me, but like I was very much like put me in front of a TV. Even as a toddler, like put me in front of TV, I would just sit there. And my grandmother and my mom, they told me a while back, like how I would start to learn how to read was reading the actual credits, like that was scrolling at the end. Like, and my grandma was like, no, you were reading, like you were like sounding out words, and because I've always been just engulfed and enamored by television and movies and music and stuff like that. So
Come on, industry baby, tell it.
Really, industry baby, industry baby. Okay. I was meant to work in this
Yes,
in this
you
place.
were,
I was meant to work in
clearly.
it. But yeah.
So with that, what has, this idea of becoming, what has it required of you emotionally, spiritually, and or artistically? We don't have to.
They're all intertwined.
I know they're all coming together. There's a lot
There's
there.
a lot there.
But yeah, like what have you needed to do there?
Ooh, a lot of crying. A lot of
Say more about that.
a lot of crying. Okay, we
Yes.
can go straight there.
I mean, we're not trying to reenact the crying.
Oh no,
but
we put the makeup on.
Right.
Right?
We're gonna hold it. We're gonna hold it.
We're gonna hold it. If you
But-
have a little tear, it's fine. I have a little napkin.
What triggered it? What triggered it, or what inspired the emotion there?
Definitely coming out
Yeah.
of the closet. That was a big thing for me that I just knew in order for me to be this fully actualized person that had to happen. And I knew it was going to happen. I came out multiple times to family and friends, but I would say the real coming out moment was I was 24. I was like freshly 24. So late bloomer.
Well, look, you get there when you get there.
You get there when you get there, okay? Take your time. But I came out, it was on the heels of my my late grandmother's passing, the one who also said like when I was younger I was reading like not scripts but credits from TV shows and whatnot, and she was passing away. I knew it, but I didn't want to name it to anybody in the family because she had been in and out of the hospital a while, and she usually was never like the older who's like, you need to call me sometime. Like, why don't you call? She's always just knew that I was just doing my thing. But then she called me, and we have our birthdays are a week apart. And so she called me, or no, I called her to wish her a happy birthday, but I did it earlier because I know everybody was gonna blow up her phone. But we had missed the dial, missed the call, whatever.
Okay.
But she left me a voicemail. She was like, hey, it's been a while. I haven't seen you. I need to physically see you. And she's never done that. So I was like, ooh, she finna go. I was like, so now I need to really like have this conversation with her. Because I'm like, it can't just be that I have no family member who does not really, I wouldn't say accept me, but does not acknowledge that I'm a queer person. I was like, it has to be another family member who knows this.
Can I get one? Can I
get one in the family?
Just one, please.
Just one, please. Like, you ain't got to be at the pride parade, but dang, can you just acknowledge that? Like, yes, I see you, and you can live your life, and that's what she did. So,
Amazing.
in the hospital, I teed up the conversation because I was seeing somebody at the time, and it was a long distance type of thing. It wasn't really working out. He really wasn't putting in the work to do the long distance. And I was like, I was asking her, I was like, how do you break up with somebody who they're not a bad person, they didn't do anything wrong, but it's just not working out? And so she gave me her insight on when she was dating.
Come on, grandmothers.
Okay, Black grandmas.
Yes,
also, like,
please.
But she gave me kind of like the working to how to say it and whatnot. And I was like, thanks, grandma. And I was like, so I like boys.
Wait, you just threw it in at the end?
Because it was like we were there. I was like leaning on her.
Roll,
I was
so
like
let me
leaning.
just see how this goes.
No, literally, I was like leaning on her lap. Like we're in the hospital, and I was just like, I like boys. I couldn't even look at her. I just had to like say it to the side, and she was like, "Oh, I've known."
She's like, "You ain't telling me nothing."
No,
I don't
really,
know.
it was. She was like, "I've known since you were this high," and I'm like,
"Of course."
So but why everybody acting like when I tell them they look at me crazy? Like, no, you're not. And I'm like, I ain't never had a girlfriend. So what are what are we really, what we doing? So had that moment with her.
That actually
And
is a beautiful moment.
it's one of my favorite moments. That was literally my favorite moment with my grandmother, was just having that like human moment of like, oh, I can talk to her about just dating woes. It wasn't like it was a lot of, emotional stuff, because I'm still like
Right.
coming out to her, but it was just like a normal, like another moment she would have with like any of her grandkids or her
And
kids.
just the immediate sort of like, oof.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like when I say melted,
rolled off
just
the
rolled off
shoulders.
my shoulders. It was like I could breathe, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
You
thank
can't.
God. You just can't beat that.
Yeah.
And so my cousins at the time when she passed, they were all sharing their favorite moments with her, and I was like, well, my favorite moment just happened because it came out to her.
This is what
and
happened.
she saw me holistically. She saw me full-fledged, three-dimensional.
Right.
I wasn't hiding in plain sight. And yeah, but that didn't go over well with a lot of other family members, and caused a lot of rifts, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of disappointment, which in hindsight I can understand, because I was being positioned to be kind of like one of the kids to kind of make it out, even though I didn't grow up in the hood or anything like that, but just that sort of like, you have to continue the legacy. You have to,
That is
get a wife
thing.
and kids, and like, you have to. We were on the up and up, so you have to keep going that way. And it was just like, I was
like you're
ruining that dream.
carrying the hopes and dreams of an entire community.
Come on,
and for some reason, like the sexuality, like all of a sudden now dreams gone.
Poof, like everything is shattered. The glass is shattered. Everything is done. And in the shattering, because it definitely shattered. Because some people knew, and some people I just didn't vocalize because I just knew they weren't going to receive it well.
Right.
But there was never sort of a surprise. It never was a surprise. So in that moment, or in those months that followed, it was just like I didn't talk to certain family members. I was kind of ostracized a little bit.
Look, I get it that happens, and it's difficult, especially when you are on the receiving end of the sort of backlash that can result. The thing that I always say, though, and I can say this now that I'm older and wiser, is that you have to give people time to mourn the version of you that is no longer to them.
To them, yeah. And you know what's funny? I worked on an on-campus job when I was in grad school at the time, because I was in NYU when all this was happening. And my supervisor, who was queer as well, he told me the exact same thing, the exact wording, which is so wild. And I was like, oh, I remember his name was Jacob, and I remember him saying these exact words. He's like, you have to give them time to mourn.
Yeah.
You have to get, like, because they had this picture of what you were going to do and how your life was going to be, and then it did not.
And let me tell you, that is a death.
It is a death. It's a death.
Like, it is that deep. It is that serious.
Yeah.
And you were like, but I'm still me.
I'm still me.
To them,
I was not. I was a whole different person.
They
did not know who this gay.
Where
Tyree
did this
was.
come from?
Like,
who let them in here?
Who is here? Like who touched him? Like who converted him? Like all that
things,
stuff.
We know.
We know. But though that period of time, like 2017 to 2020, it was a lot of crying, a lot of depression, functional depression too, because there was like depression where I was just like, oh, I don't want to live, I don't want to do all this stuff, because it was just like I lost family. Like I actually lost connection to family. I was in New York by myself. Like I didn't feel safe to come back home.
So that is real loss, and that's sort of an external sort of resistance that you encounter. Can you talk a little bit about what you experience internally? So even though you're doing this,
we can
brave, courageous.
We can talk about it.
We can talk
about it.
You're doing this brave, courageous thing that you know you need to do, and is part of your sort of process. But you encounter your own barriers even when you are sort of unfolding in real time. So what was that like for you?
Anxiety. It was true anxiety. I've always been an anxious kid, because in hindsight, I always knew it was different. I always knew it was a queer kid, or the gay kid. But couldn't really say that or act on it because growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was still taboo.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Like, we don't do that.
Nope.
We don't do that. You wait till you grown.
And way out of the
and
house.
way out of the house, which was the plan. That was the plan. I was
Same.
like,
I waited till I got to college.
Wait till I got to college because I was like,
not me.
I couldn't wait to get to college. I said, you ain't finna kick me out. You ain't finna do none of that.
I see
stuff.
what you about to do.
I see what you about to do. I already see. I heard comments. I already seen how you act. But
it's unfortunate, but that is what a lot of us had to do.
A lot of us had to do. We had to bide our time. But I was going to have a lot of anxiety. I had so much anxiety. It was the true like physical anxiety, like you feel like your body's caving in on itself and you can't breathe. It's kind of like having PTSD. Like you had this traumatic event, whether it's like insert whatever traumatic event, and then you're kind of reliving it.
It's like a real suffocation.
It's a suffocation. Oh my God, it's suffocating. It's literally like you can't breathe. And there were so many moments where I was still in school. I was in grad school, and grad school is hard regardless of where you go. But I was at NYU. In grad school. And I was working 2 student jobs, and I was also still making music. I was making music like professionally.
You were doing all the things.
And I was like running to that kind of like to really escape the internal conflict I was feeling.
Right.
Because I didn't feel like I had time to just like sit and just deal with the morning. I couldn't deal with the rift, the heartbreak, the heartache.
Yeah.
I didn't have time for that.
Because people were separating from you, but you are then separated.
I was
separated.
So
you have to also deal with the loss that that creates.
It was a loss. It was a loss. Like I said, 2017. Woo, child. Don't need to go back. Don't need to go back. But the suffocating, the like physical like tremors of just like anything. I was just very, super sensitive to anything because I just felt like I was raw. I just felt like all the protection, the mental protection I would give myself to prepare for that moment of coming out, it still like didn't protect me from the blowout.
Yeah.
So it was just like something just blew up, and I'm just like, I'm just like struggling to keep going, to crawl, and then just to just take it truly day by day, just to try to continue on with life.
So when you're in the throes of that type of anxiety, stress, panic of sorts,
panic attacks,
did it make you doubt your right to change? Does that make sense? Did you question whether or not you were doing it right? Because it had created all of this sort of ripple effect that was just, I don't know if it seemed like it was never ending, but I imagine it can feel like just one thing after the next. And how do you know that you're still doing it right when you're experiencing so many things that feel not great?
That's a good question. I would like to say that I did it the best way I could, even though there's some things I probably could have done better.
Lord knows we could have all done things better.
But
so, like,
there's for me there was no sort of like right or wrong way to come out, because I just knew the blowout was going to be the result. I never was like, oh, my parents are going to be so accepting. My family's going to be so accepting. They're going to want to meet a boyfriend or whatever. That wasn't the case. No, I knew that was going to be the case. Happening. So there was going to be some negative outcome. And that's what I was like preparing myself for. But I just really thought that having my grandmother's blessing would have been more of a, hey, y'all need to kind of like,
if she can get on board, surely
you can. But that was not the case. And some people in my family thought I was using that as a way to not soften the blow, but as like my grandma...
Guilt them into it?
Not even say guilt them into it, but it was like my grandma said I can be gay, so y'all got to get with it. And it's funny because in my mind, it was like, no, it's like my grandmother said I can be free.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I want to shout that to the rooftops?
She's letting me
become the person that I've always been.
Right.
But on the other end, people were just not happy with that, and they were still not happy with it. Because I was just like, look, going to the funeral, gonna be like, well, my grandmother, like I was like puffed up. My chest was puffed up because it was like finally after years and years of just having this secret, quote unquote, and to actually be just seen. I was like, it truly felt like I had my freedom papers.
Yeah.
Like I was free, and I was like, you can't tell me nothing. I don't care who you are. You can't tell me shit.
Get on board.
Get on board. So, in hindsight, like it was the best way that I knew how at the time, but I can see how the things that I did, even though I didn't do anything, I just made a post on Instagram and Facebook, but
I mean, there's no blueprint
there's
for
no
how to do
blueprint for
this.
how to do this, especially being black and queer. There's no blueprint on how to do this. But I did the best way I knew how.
Right. We all stumble our way
Oh, I
through it
stumbled.
somehow.
That makes a great
There's
song.
I mean, write it down. Yeah, I mean, look, it's just even now I think it's still hard, but like then it was so hard because you didn't have a model to
Did not have a
follow,
model to follow.
and you just you went one by one, and you hoped that maybe it would be okay.
It would be okay. Like grandma said, it's okay. So why are you tripping? Like, why are you tripping? And there's like, I was the only out gay man in the family. We have lesbians in the family of a couple, but I was the only out gay man. So
did you feel the support from them?
Oh, immediately.
Okay,
they were
great.
like
I was gonna say we have more.
It was like cousins. So we have a different relationship now. We don't speak to each other all the time,
right.
but we do have this like there's a special care that we have for each other now.
Almost like shared language.
Yeah. Just like, hey. It's just like, okay.
I see you.
I see you, see me. And I'm the baby grandkid. I'm the baby grandson, but also the baby grandchild. So it's just like, oh, like, it's not like that could never do anything wrong, but it was like, you're the baby.
Yeah,
you have the golden
there's a little
one.
protection
There's a
there.
little protection, a little bit of pressure to be something.
Yeah. Which
But,
you can obviously still be.
I can still be. I still am.
Right.
I'm still the shit.
Which is right. Which you are. Which is a great segue to sort of like where you are now.
Mhm.
So last time you were here, we talked about the album,
Mhm.
about to come out. Album is
Album
out.
is out.
So artistically,
Mhm.
where are you in process? We're there and we're living and we're
Mhm.
experiencing and celebrating.
Celebrating it. Yeah, we're still celebrating it. Yes, I put out an album. I put out an album. It's called Tyree, which is what Ty is short for. So it's spelled Tyrie, and it's on all streaming platforms and music.
Great
streamed and
album.
sold.
Go
Thank
listen
you.
to it.
Thank you.
I'm telling you all. Go listen.
You at least like one song. I always tell people that you'll find one song that you like.
More than one. Because it's so relatable in many ways. I mean, we're friends. But
I
like
know,
still, like it's
still, I don't expect
music.
I don't expect people to, especially friends. I don't expect them to like my music because being an artist, regardless if you're independent or you're signed to a major label, your friends and family are not your fan base. They can be. We would love for that to be the truth.
Yes.
But it's just not. It's not the case. Like some music that may not resonate.
I mean, in a very similar vein, like I would say the same thing even for this podcast. Like there are some people, not many detractors, but there are some people who may question why I would choose to do this. Why am I talking about the things that I'm talking about? And speaking of the word becoming, like me becoming who I am, this podcast is very much the embodiment of that. Like 5 years ago, Carl would not be here. There's no way in the world. And certainly not 10 years ago. No. Are you kidding me? But I think that evolution has led me to this place. And so if you are not here for my evolution, you may go.
You're dismissed.
That's it. Like, we don't have to talk about it.
We don't have to talk about it. It's fine.
My evolution is not for everyone. My evolution is for me. They weren't ready.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
They weren't ready. I'm sorry. I just have to say it. But it's true.
It's true.
Like,
it's true.
you have to be, you are where you are and you're going where you're going. And some people are going to get on board and some people are not. And you can't bring everybody with you.
You can't bring everybody with
you.
That's such an uncomfortable truth. I knew that before even I transitioned to doing music because I was an actor first.
Right.
And we've talked about that privately, but I started acting. That was the main thing because I technically music was the first love. It still is, but acting was the easier thing to, as far as like a career track to fall into.
Well, you were watching all them TV shows too.
I was watching all them TV shows. I was like, I was going to be the triple threat. Yeah. Okay, I was going to really quadruple because I was going to make the movies too. Yeah, that was the main thing. And people knew me and my family as being like, he's going to be on TV. He's going to be the actor. He's going to be this. And then when I was transitioning to music, they were like, are you still going to act? Like, I mean, you can sing, but you're not really like a singer. Like, you're not like okay, yeah, like it's undeniable that you're going to be a singer.
Mm.
So it was like, oh, I'm seeing the shift.
Right,
Do you not believe in me? Do you not
exactly.
believe in my talents? I'm doing all the things. I can do all of it.
Why not?
I can
Who's
do all
stopping
things
me?
through Christ strengthens me. Okay,
Right.
Philippians 4:13.
Ooh, exact scripture. Exact
Exact
scripture.
scripture. But yeah, so with the whole transitioning to music and becoming more of a multidimensional artist, uh, it was a shift of seeing like some family members and certain friends,
Hmm.
like they just didn't really get with it because I wasn't making like music that a black male artist would make traditionally. I wasn't doing like R&B. I wasn't doing hip hop. I
I
was
mean, how would you define what you're doing?
It's genre fluid for sure,
I
but
was gonna say, like, it can
it can be
cross
across.
genres and
It's very cross genres. I've always been very cross genre because I love pop music, which is mostly what it is as far as like the pop songwriting structure
mhm.
and whatnot. But it's pop. It's a little bit of folk, country. It's a little bit of soul. It's actually a lot of soul because my voice is very soulful.
Yes, it is.
It's jazz, somewhat jazzy influenced. Um, and production wise, I am influenced a lot by hip hop production.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's a mixed bag of things, but just because I'm not presenting in the typical way that a black male artist
Hmm.
would present themselves. It I get overlooked or don't even get looked at.
Oh, oh
And
gosh.
even like, some songs that just didn't register until really recently, or certain songs have been like, my friends have been like, oh, I really like that one. I was like, you like this
Now you
one?
like,
I
woo.
was like, this might be a hit. I was hit for real. I was like, if you like it. Because, I mostly would just like play stuff on the guitar or
Right.
have like a little live band element and whatnot. But it just really didn't register. But with the album, I just felt like this is all of me encompassing. I'm talking about like certain narratives of like the coming out struggles and navigating sexuality, navigating like identity and
Yeah.
all of it
All of these things that have been in you for a very
for a
long
long
time,
time, which is why my engineer said like you've been making this album like your whole
your
life,
entire
your
life.
entire life. It's just now it's cultivated. And they do say it takes 10 years to be an overnight success, quote unquote. But for me, it was 10 years of me making music. Like I had
Right.
made like mixtapes and made like did covers and EPs and stuff like that. And I was like, that's what really kind of drove me home to like finishing the album. Cause I was like, I just kind of was at my wits' end, like things that fell through with people I wanted to work with. And I didn't make the best decisions wise as a business person, like
Right. Okay.
thinking about make up when it came to like putting the album together and choosing who I worked with and whatnot. And I was like, I don't just want to give up. But then I was having a therapy session and I was
God
talking
bless
about
therapy.
God bless
We're gonna
therapy.
come back to it every single time.
Go to therapy. Go
Stop
now.
pretending like you don't need it.
Pause this video and go find a session.
Finish the episode and then go call a
Yeah,
therapist.
yeah. Finish the episode first. Sorry. Yeah, finish the episode and then go to therapy. But I was talking about like my journey with music, and I was telling him about my therapist about my shortcomings and where I felt, where I made mistakes, and I was like, something in my brain clicked. I was like, no, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm finishing this just for me,
Yeah,
just doing it just for
absolutely.
me, and whatever happens, happens. But this is getting done because it's the 10-year anniversary of me making
Mm,
music. So that's why I was like, we're just gonna put this thing together, put it together,
get it
and get
done.
it done.
I love it.
And yeah, and I became in that process. I really became a confident producer because I could always write. I could always write. I know I can sing. I know I can play guitar. But putting an album together, and I've done this in smaller doses with songs. But being a producer is a whole different
And
ballgame.
so what's interesting is like, focusing on one thing allows you to become other things that you
Mm-hmm.
didn't even anticipate.
I did
Like
not.
similarly, like with me, like, I was like, okay, I'll start a podcast and I will make these videos. And now I will also add post and I
Mm-hmm.
will also create a website.
Mm-hmm. And
Then
marketer
yeah, and
and all
and
these
now
things.
I'm just all of these things. It's just like the evolution is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It is ongoing. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, it's hard and it's confusing
Ooh,
and
it's
you don't
hard.
necessarily know where it's going, but like it's all a part of the process.
It
So
is.
like stand and celebrate
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. And even when it comes to like making music now, because I've been inspired just by playing stuff on the piano and just figuring things out. Like the musings are coming back to
Right.
my brain, and I was like, I'm coming into making this new wave of music more confidence. Like, yeah, I can put this together.
Yeah.
Like where beforehand I was like, oh my God, it's gonna suck
I'm
so bad.
Yo, seriously, the apprehension that I had about doing anything like this before, I'd be like, do I want to? And now just start it. Let's just go.
Let's
like,
go. Mm-hmm.
you can do it.
You can do it.
And even if it's not amazing,
You can still. You made it.
you made it.
You made it.
And you can keep making it.
And you'll get better. And you'll get better. And
You
you'll
will
get better.
It's called what? Evolving. And therefore becoming. So
Come
as
on.
we're starting to wrap up, you are in a great place, obviously.
Mhm.
How do you stay, call it grounded,
Ooh.
while the evolving and becoming is taking place?
Prayer.
Mm.
Prayer. Prayer for me looks like, well, I do the traditional way of praying, like growing up in Christian churches. So praying, hey God, how you doing?
Right. Actual talk.
Actual talk. It's very formal and sometimes it's very informal. It's nuanced conversation.
As it should be.
As
with
it
God.
should be, as it should be with God. It has to be like, oh God, hi.
It's like sometimes,
Heavenly Father.
You see me? Okay.
You see what just happened? Okay. Why that happened? Okay. But truly in prayer every morning and every night, should be at any time of the day, but just really being thankful of just breath, health, where I'm at, because where I'm at now, I wasn't there 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't there 10 years ago, like
Lord
you said.
knows.
I was struggling, like struggling. And so every time, like want to be more specific as for an example, my place that I live now, I have my own apartment. I rent it because we renting. We ain't got the money like that yet.
Until.
But I live alone, where I've always had roommates or lived with family, and coming home and it's just my space and it's peaceful.
Ooh, there's nothing like it.
It's
Ooh,
nothing like it. Oh, it's nothing like it.
To walk into quiet.
After, especially living in New York City, where you're just surrounded by noise
all the time.
All the time. And so when you come into your own domicile, it's just like
the peace,
the quiet. Like I went ASMR a little bit just now. The quiet.
We're gonna pick it up.
We're gonna pick it up. But walking in my apartment was truly an answered prayer. Like I was praying for that. I was working hard for that. I was saving. I was getting my credit together because my credit was not the best. I had it on my vision board. Like it was just like, I want my solo apartment. I just want to have that experience. And to have it now, it's like I never take it for granted. I walk in, I'm just like, sometimes I even weep a little bit. Oh, because it's like, man, it's been such much of a journey to get here.
You remember the work that it took.
I remember
to make
the work
it happen.
every time I open the keys, open that door, it's like, God, thank you, God.
And you protect your space.
And I do. I literally thought I would be like everybody's welcome to my house, like Joan and girlfriends. So everybody just be going in and out of her house.
Not in and out.
No,
all
not
the time.
not my house. No.
You need to be vetted.
You need
first.
to be vetted.
You are not gonna just roll up.
You're
in
not
my
just
space.
gonna roll in. And it's a smaller space too. So it's like when people are in it, it fills the room. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is claustrophobic. Everybody get out, get out. It's truly meant for one person. Me. And if I have a little something.
Yes, so,
please. Yeah. So that's it. But yeah, that's how I stay grounded, is just prayer and just truly just acknowledging the things that I'm so grateful for, like the fact that like I'm alive, I can breathe, I can run, I can work out, I have a job that besides my my artistic journey that supports me in doing those things, feeling aligned with everything that I'm invested in and that I'm part of. It's truly like, wow, like, okay, I'm here.
Right. And when that happens, when it feels like it's not perfect.
No,
you haven't arrived.
No. Yes.
But when it feels like there is this sort of like things are starting to gel and you start to move different, you hold yourself a little different, your chest puffs out just a little bit more.
Yeah. Your back a little straighter,
right.
Your spine is like
you walk into rooms, all of a sudden people take notice because like that energy like radiates when you see somebody kind of in their element and doing what you can see them doing what they should be doing, and there's just nothing like it.
I like it. And people have been telling me recently that I've been glowing.
Come on, Glow.
And I was just like, glowing.
I mean, we see it here, but
thank you so much. But of course, I'm not like, what glow? Like sweat? What you saying? Like,
perspiration.
Perspiration? Is that what it is? But I've been getting that comment a lot recently, and I was just like, I think it's because I love my life. I love my life. I'm getting emotional saying that. Ooh, but I love my life.
That is emotional because a lot of people can't say that.
A lot of people can't say that. And it's not perfect, y'all. It's not perfect.
No, it is not.
But I love my life. I love the relationships that I have. I love the people that I'm with. Like this one right here.
Stop this it. One. You're not going to make me cry. I was good until you reached out a hand.
For real. I was like, but I love my life. I love where I'm at. This has been a dream to get to this place. And so to be in it is like, how dare I not be grateful? Ooh. How dare I not acknowledge the almighty being and the ancestors, because they have a hand in it too, Lord, of getting
they
me
all
here.
got you here.
They all got
the appreciation that you're showing is everything. And I think that is something that I think a lot of us forget, particularly when you reach some certain milestones. Don't forget the journey.
Don't forget the journey.
Even though there's still more mountains and hurdles and things to overcome, but like the process of evolving is not a race. It is a journey for a reason. So I know we need to wrap up. My last question to you, what would you offer someone in terms of advice if they are in the midst of their becoming? What is some pearls of wisdom? I mean, you've shared many pearls already, but is there any one thing that you think this is what you need to hold on to?
Your why. Hold on to your why. Remind yourself of the why. Because you can get caught up in the race of it all, the wanting to get there, the arrival point so much that you forget why you want to do this thing in the first place.
Right.
And for me, the why was multiple. It was multiple whys, but I just knew when it came to making music, I wanted to make the music that I wish I heard as a kid, and in the body, in the color, and the expression of that I embody now as a kid. And remembering that why, it was just like, that's what I'm doing this for. Like, I'm making these music videos with black male love interests because I want to see that, and I want people older than us, younger than us, to be like, oh, look at that black queer love. Like, look at that. It's like, I want that. But everybody's why is different.
Yeah.
But remembering the why is like the focal point. It kind of grounds you a little bit. Like when stuff is tough and you're just like, I want to quit. I don't care. I'm broke. I'm sick. All these things that can just distract you and just make you just
take you away
from the why. Just remember the why. And when you remember that why, and not renounce it, but remember it for yourself and reclaim that, then you can take it step by step. And
write it down.
Like, put it on a Post-it note. Put it on the mirror.
Wherever you need to remind yourself. Brushing the teeth. Look at
right there.
The why.
Put it on your phone as the cover.
Yeah.
Like, just remember the why, because that for me has been the focal point of like what has got me here. So yeah, that's my nugget.
This is why we bring Ty back, because he comes and he drops gems.
I do my best,
sir. I know you're humble, but you are.
I do my best.
You are. It's so beautiful to see you in this space and time in your life. Like, and I am just happy to be on the journey with you. Thank you so much for coming back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
This might have to become a tradition. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, just bring me back every season. It's okay.
I was like, we'll have a little Ty drop in every season.
Yeah, I'm here. Put me on the payroll.
Okay, well now let's cut this video before because we ain't got no payroll to put you on yet.
Just kidding.
Maybe one day.
One day.
Anyway, Ty, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And yeah, we're gonna leave it there, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.
Bye.